Since my last video, the modding community closed another amazing chapter of modding in 2021, and we've been met by some truly incredible mods to kick off the new year. And with that, I wanted to bring the channel's most popular series, must-have mods, into 2022. Since beginning this series, I've come to realize that must-have will always be somewhat subjective in nature, because we all envision different outcomes in what we'd like to achieve through modding. My goal with this video is to present a set of mods that can be viewed as a staple in almost anyone's load order. So let's take a look at some must-have mods going into 2022. The first mod we're going to be taking a look at is Seasons of Skyrim, a mod that brings seasonal changes to the game. A variety of weather mods have already implemented seasonal features to influence weather patterns, although one thing that has never been present with Seasons is dynamic changes to the landscape that would exist in a realistic seasonal cycle, mainly changes to trees, grass, and the terrain. With the mod Seasons of Skyrim, I'm happy to say we finally have dynamic seasons. This mod applies seasonal changes based on the in-game month. Form swaps are generated based on your load order, so if there are any models with a corresponding seasonal variant, will be swapped during the respective season. During the winter, snow shaders are applied to static objects to simulate a fresh covering of snow. If you so choose, any season can be set to permanent. Lately, I've been enjoying Skyrim in a state of permanent winter, and it's been surreal to experience all these locations I visited countless times completely transformed. Additionally, you could generate matching distant terrain, objects, and trees with the help of Dulad. These will also be swapped according to the season. In the mod's current state, it only provides direct changes for winter, although this mod in and of itself is a framework that's built for other modders to take advantage of. Since its release, there has already been quite an influx of mods that take advantage of this, and expect more to follow and for this mod to continually improve over time. The potential for something like this is virtually limitless. For this reason, I could see myself revisiting this mod and those built around it for another video in the near future. The next mod we're looking at is not a singular mod, but a series of mods by the same author. JK's Interiors completely overhauls a variety of interiors throughout the game, many of which have aged quite poorly over the years and in general, always lack character and individuality. This mod revitalizes these interiors by adding a variety of static objects and clutter. In some cases, it completely reimagines the building's layout. Quality interior overhauls are far and few between, and no one has done it better or more comprehensively than JK, and they show no signs of stopping, with new interior reworks releasing periodically, and with over 30 completed at the time of this video's release. As of now, most inns, temples, and shops have been reworked, along with other frequently visited locations. The quality I've come to expect from these interior mods are second to none, and when a new one is released, it is an instantaneous download for me. Eventually, I expect JK to create a singular mod that combines all his interiors in one place, similar to what he's done with his popular city overhauls. For now, until that happens, a link to the mod author's profile can be found in the description, so you can browse through all the available interior mods and download as you see fit. I couldn't justify making a must-have mods video without mentioning True Directional Movement, TDM for short. I'm certain most of you have at least heard of True Directional Movement. For those that haven't or are reluctant to try it out, True Directional Movement is a complete overhaul of Skyrim's third person. First and foremost, what this mod achieves is true 360 movement. Unlike attempts made by other mods, it isn't accomplished through clever animations. Instead, the player character actually changes directions when you rotate. What this means is animations such as attacking, sprinting, jumping, and all others work flawlessly in all directions. In order to make this new form of movement more fluid in combat, TDM implements a target lock-on system, one that's very reminiscent of those seen in modern action games. During target lock, your character will directly face the target, and the camera will adjust automatically as you move around in an attempt to focus the target in the center of the screen. At any point, you could switch targets or disengage the target lock entirely. To further expand on this feature, there's a head tracking system that makes it so the player character angles their head to look at the current target, as well as those speaking directly to you. As you move, the character's head will subtly follow, remaining fixated on the current target until you fall out of range. If there is no current target, the character's head will then follow the camera's direction. Seeing your character visibly look around makes them feel less stiff and much more lifelike. So not only does this mod revitalize third person, It also checks a few boxes in the immersion department as well. One drawback that comes along with introducing 360 movement is projectile inaccuracy in third person due to the standard crosshair being imprecise. To compensate for this issue, TDM comes equipped with two types of aim support during target lock, the first being predictive aim, which takes into account the target's current location and velocity to predict where they will be. If the target changes direction suddenly, there's a good chance you will miss. Which leads us to the second type of aim support, homing. This option basically guarantees your projectiles will hit, although this option is a bit overpowered in my opinion. Aim support options could be applied separately for arrows, bolts, and spells. Alternatively, you could disable this feature entirely, which is ultimately what I decided to do. When disabled, target lock will temporarily unlock, allowing you to aim freely. I pair this with SmoothCam's 3D crosshair for accurate aiming. TDM makes a few other subtle changes to wrap up some of the flaws that exist in Skyrim's third person. This includes a feature that allows you to swim up and down by pressing the jump and sneak keys. Also, you can now rotate your camera fully when mounted, with an optional feature that supports mounted archery in all directions with fitting custom animations. This mod in and of itself could warrant an entire video, but I think I covered the baselines of why this mod is so revolutionary and why you should at least give it a try. The next mod, Detection Meter, solves the age-old problem of not knowing the direction of NPCs that spot you while sneaking. It achieves this by implementing a stealth detection meter, one that takes inspiration from modern action games such as Assassin's Creed. It functions by displaying an arrow bar on your screen in the direction of NPCs that either have line of sight of you, are head tracking you, or have already fully detected you. The amount the bar fills up is an indication of how high the detection value is. When filled up completely, it begins to flash, indicating that you've indeed been fully detected. If the NPC that detected you is hostile, the stealth meter will transition from white to red as you're engaged in combat. Detection meter conveniently only shows up when sneaking, so if you're like me and prefer a cleaner UI, it's good to know that this feature will not clutter your HUD. Overall, this mod is a major quality of life change for stealth gameplay, and it wouldn't surprise me if we're given a similar sneak detection UI in Elder Scrolls 6. Last but not least, we have Modpocalypse. This mod enhances the visual appearance of every single vanilla NPC, over 3,000 in total, with support for many other popular mods that introduce new characters. Ones such as JK's Skyrim, Great Towns and Cities, and Fallscar to name a few. The extent of what this mod does is affect the facial structure and hair of NPCs. It is up to you to download other mods to complement this. Results will vary depending on the other mods you have installed, such as skin, body, eyes, etc. If you're looking to achieve the same results I did, you merely have to download the recommended mods that are listed in the description of Modpocalypse. The reason this mod is able to achieve the vast coverage that it does is because all the face gen data is being automatically generated utilizing the creation kit and not individually created manually like many other NPC overhauls. Of course, this method has its pros and cons. It takes a quantity over quality approach, but as you can see, quality certainly doesn't fall short. The reason this mod is a must-have is because it's a perfect baseline for enhancing appearances, with the option to add your other favorite NPC overhauls on top of. When downloading the mod, you are given a choice between 3 different versions, each of which supports a different type of hair applied to male and female NPCs. I ultimately decided on version 3, which applies KS hair to both males and females. Be sure to browse the author's files to find support for NPCs added by other popular mods. As per usual, links to all the mods covered in this video could be found in the description. Be sure to show your support to the mod authors by endorsing their work. The vast majority of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer that isn't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if this video reaches over 1,000 likes, I will make a part 2. Besides that, I'd really like to hear what other types of videos you guys are interested in seeing next. I appreciate each and every one of you that stuck around to this point of the video. And as always, thank you for watching.